Welcome to another episode of this.podcast, where it's about dope people, dope conversations, and compelling stories. I'm your friendly host, Jay, joined by my brother and friends. We got Mike here.
You ready to boogie with that bear?
We got Co.
Man, what we talking about?
And Uncle Damo's out. He's on vacation, but we'll hit his drop anyway. And I'm going to mix it because he don't like me mixing it. So.
My name's Uncle Damo.
Hey, you can find this.podcast at linktree/this.podcast, and we'll meet you where you're at. And we got viewership on YouTube. Want to give a shout out to the incredible Lawrence and Larimer for providing the space. You can catch them on lawrenceandlarimer.com, or you can come to the store on 3225 East Colfax and check them out there. And if you do, tell them we sent you if you saw it through this.podcast. And today, before we get into the illustrious guest, we was having some problems with the seating.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey.
See what happens, Damo, when you out, man? Things just do not. The continuity is just not there.
When you want to ice skate uphill, it causes problems on set.
Hey, man. For this chair.
I'll hit you with that.
You ready to boogie with that
Damo.
bear?
Hey, Damo. For
Everybody
yours.
want to ice skate uphill.
All right, I gave you your drop already. I'm not going to give
saying,
you. I'm not going to give you
I
another
don't care
one.
about the drop. I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying, for a chair, he could have took the chair over there. I don't care about sitting in this blue chair.
It sounded like a little bit.
No,
A little
I'm
bit.
sitting on this side because this is
cool.
where I sit.
Got it.
This is where I'm supposed
Damo,
to
this
sit.
is why you
That's
can't
his
miss,
good
man.
angle. That's his good angle. I know.
Thank
what it
you.
is. That's his angle.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
Just throw it.
Yeah.
But
This
this
is
isn't his angle. That's his angle. So if you would have sat here, I would have threw it off.
I'm going to be real with you. He should be in the chair. Our guest should be in the better chair than us. How's that? Take that chair, put it right over there on the other side. Courtney sits where he's
Is that
supposed
what you
to.
suggested?
No.
But who was thinking about himself?
I'm going to hit my
instead
drop
of-
for that. I'm going to hit my drop. Thank you.
Who was thinking about
Anyway,
himself?
let's get into our illustrious guest.
Damo. Wait, hold on real quick.
Wait,
Damo.
no. Today, we have a special guest who is a community organizer
Yes, sir.
and owner of TSG Security, here by way of PG County
Yes, indeed.
yeah.
in D.C., and now has his home here in Denver. Let's welcome Chaz Mykl Gormley to the show.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you, brother.
Glad to be here.
And I'm seeing we need to. Can you bring the mic
Got
to you a
you,
little
my
bit?
bad. Right
Fresh,
there.
fresh from
Already.
fresh from the with the
Yeah,
fresh
yeah,
ink.
It's
Yeah,
a little-
fresh ink and everything.
session.
Where'd you get your tattoo at?
I don't wanna. I wanna say the brother's name is Solomon.
Okay.
Solo. I can't remember the name of the shop. It's up there in Lakewood though. I'll make sure I shout him out on social media and stuff. The brother, he's a good dude, and he took care of me this morning and shit, man.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
It looks
Little
sweet too.
Buddha head, inspired by my fiance, so had to.
Nice.
Congrats on that.
Much
Yeah.
appreciated. Much
Yeah,
appreciated.
man.
Thank you very
I
much.
saw it on IG when you proposed.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
indeed, man.
it was good to see that black love because y'all are sharing it all over IG, and I love to see that.
It's just it's natural. I think that's the biggest thing is I'm not forcing it. It's really how I'm living.
Okay.
And so I'm just sharing my actual life. Like it ain't, hey baby, get up. We gotta flick it up
flex
on
on
the
the
gram. Like nah, like this is how I'm living, and I just want to. I try to be as authentic as I can.
Well, paint the picture, man.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Let's paint the picture, man.
What you want to know? What you want?
It's February. So what I want to know, did you put the engagement ring on the barrel, on the tip of the barrel of the gun?
So nah, it wasn't. It was no firearms involved. It's really so. She grew up loving the one and only version of Cinderella That Matters with Brandy and Whitney Houston.
Right.
And so I had found on Etsy this, it's like a carriage. It looked like a little pumpkin carriage, a little crystal joint. And so I put it inside of there. And then we had a meal at, what's the name of the spot? It's a spot over off Laramie. What's the name of the spot, baby? Barcelona.
Oh.
Shout out to Barcelona. That's a
the
nice
wine
spot.
bar.
That is a
Yeah,
nice
wine
spot.
bar. That's a nice spot. Larimer.
We had a bunch of.
We know where it's at,
yeah,
Larimer.
Oh yeah, she ain't gonna forget.
She knows it
We had a bunch
minute
of-
by minute. Playback. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
good. We had a bunch of friends and family in town because it ended up lining up with her birthday weekend. And so had friends and family over there, and there's this song it's an Alicia Keys version of the Brian McKnight joint. So in my mind, you remember when Martin proposed to Gina
absolutely.
in the park, and he had Brian McKnight come up. So
Definitely.
whole time I told her, like, I was at the crib practicing singing because I was going to try to sing the joint, but then
you was trying to do Brian McKnight, man. That's a woo.
but that's not my strong suit, so it ain't what I do. I can't hit them notes, but the Alicia Keys version of that song I really love.
Got it.
So I had her homegirl, she played the joint. I dropped down on one knee. I gave my speech, and I dropped down on one knee, and, you know, I made that proposal. I asked that question. And, you know, she said yes.
So at any time, was you worried that she wouldn't say yes?
Prior to, because I had to get a cover-up. I had some other tattoos. I had to, she said it wasn't going to happen unless I got some other ink.
Now we getting into the thick of things.
Now we getting into, now we digging in the weeds.
Those were some mistakes, I imagine.
I was young and dumb. We was all young and dumb at one point, so I did some young and dumb shit. And
Clean the life up. Clean it up.
You know, we've been talking about getting married. We've had a very close bond for years at this point. So we've been dating, and so it was like, I like it, but not until you get that covered
Gotta
up.
Get that.
Yeah, so that was the only, like, it ain't gonna happen unless. So I've been flying back home, getting these tap out sessions, getting this joint covered. Yeah.
How painful was that?
It was on my ribs, so it's 13-hour sessions, 3 of them joints. So
and it was all worth it, huh?
Absolutely.
Man, round of applause for you.
So Ja Rule was right. Love is pain.
Pain is love.
Pain is love.
Pain is love.
Pain is love.
Well, let's talk about your background a little bit. Let's tell the people what you do, because you'll probably tell it better than us. But your TSG, the Samori Group Security business that you got going on. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that and why you started it?
So I was working in the industry already, doing private security for dispensaries. And the opportunity came where there was a void. The guy I was working for was stepping out of the business, and I had been learning from him, watching his moves, how to start a security company. And the reality is, here in Denver, all you need is money.
That's it.
And you need money, and can you read all the steps on the city and county of Denver website?
Can you read? That's
you got money, and can
very
you
important.
read?
Can you read?
And then follow through on all the stuff you need to do. And so I had been considering doing it. And I was working at the dispensary, and I was just showing up, because at this point, I'm not doing it no more, so I'm just showing up on my own.
Got it.
And I actually talked to, she was my girlfriend at the time, and I was, who's now my fiance, and I was like, I'm going to just call up another company and tell them I'm working here and just try to jump on with somebody else and let them get this contract. And then why would you do that? Like, why would you go? You don't want to work for nobody else. Why would you do that? And so with her pushing me, like, she kept her foot on, she kept asking me, you do your LLC paperwork yet? Did you do your DBA? Like, she was on my head. I was like, keep applying that pressure. And it was one day I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. It was more not just to get her off of my back, but it was like, I'm going to do it. So I followed through and do this thing I said I was going to do.
That's the love right there, right? That's why you need somebody like that in your corner.
To keep pushing you, because I was cool with just waking up, going, working, coming home, chilling.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did it, I wanted it to mean something. I wanted the name to mean something. And so with me, like, on my side, I have Fred Hampton, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X. So I'm very big into, unfortunately, people that became martyrs, and not just stateside, but globally. So Samori Touré from Guinea, responsible for, fighting colonialism, teaching his people how to fight back, how to push back. And so for me, that was in my mind, that's what I embodied the business doing. I want this to be that type of entity.
And you know what's dope about that? Because with Samori Touré, like, his background is military strategist, right? Muslim cleric, and was the not the ruler, but general of Wasulu Empire, right? Yep. So, it's awesome, because when I looked that up, and I had to look it up, that shows a different kind of history that you're into, and what your upbringing is and what you're all about. So I think that's dope.
It's principle.
You
it's
did
principle.
That. Absolutely.
It's all credit to my mother. She kept, Black Panther books and Marcus Garvey stuff. She really instilled in me kind of just knowing a thorough history.
Yep.
Not just like, I don't just know about the people from here. It's learning about the people. On this side, I want to get my Queen Nanny tattoo for the Maroons. Like, it's really about having that full, global we the global majority. Even though
That's
we
a
treated
fact.
like
That's a
minority,
fact.
we the global majority.
That's a
So that
fact.
means we got stories in history, or futures. Black Future Month. We got histories everywhere.
Right.
Black
So
Future
with me,
Month.
That's what they say it's supposed to be called now. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow. Kanye, he all over the place, but it's not a bad idea.
That's not.
But-
I mean, that's.
but-
I like that. I like
Hey,
that wave.
it got a ring to it.
Absolutely.
But that was for me, I want all the stuff I do to have like a deeper meaning. And with being prior service, it's very much like with the firearms training and stuff. Everything that the military taught me, I bring back to my community for positive. I'm not coming back to, show Bamas how to do no wild, crazy, illegal stuff. It's like, nah, you should know how to do these things.
Wait, so real quick. I do not want to cut you off, but me and James were talking about this pre-show. Let's give context to Bamas. Now,
Because I told him it's not a good thing.
is it a good thing or a positive
It's
thing?
indifferent.
So
Because when I was listening to your interview with Graffiti, I was trying to figure out, like, okay, is Bama's just a reference to a person, or is it a derogatory statement?
So Bama, I use it interchangeably. For me, it's just like it's kind of like when you say nigga.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's like it could go either way. Cause I might, if I say, man, these white niggas, that's negative. Like
Right.
so out the gate, I
Right.
call them white niggas. But
Yeah.
if I'm like, man, these
The way
niggas-
you used it,
I'm
right?
here with
In the
my
tone.
niggas, like yeah. So with Bama, it's like, man, this Bama ass nigga, like that.
Wait. So if you a Bama ass nigga, that's all negative.
Absolutely,
That's all
it's
bad.
All, even though the nigga and they use a Bama ass nigga, so that's out the gate. But I'm like, yeah, I was over here with these Bamas, like that's just these people.
Got
So
it.
it's
These
just, and for me,
guys.
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
if man, these country Bama, like
That's
then
bad.
Got it.
It just depends. What's the predicate? Like, I don't know.
Bama niggas
that-
is negative.
they-
Country Bamas is negative.
but
Bamas
these
is okay.
Bamas can.
So
be
when it's
either way.
Bama's as a noun, you're good. But when it's
You
like that
good.
adjective on
it
it,
depend on what you throwing on that joint. 'Cause
Got
then
it.
it's
Just
like,
just your inflection and how you say it.
but tell them where Bama's comes from, because that'll tell your background and where you come from,
I
right?
feel like one, it's just from people up north, and the thing is, Maryland is still the South, but from people
Absolutely.
up north, we still below the Mason-Dixon, and I always have to remind people we still the South, because people from down south treat us like we from up north. People from up north treat us like we from down
That's
south.
a fact.
Absolutely.
That's a fact.
Reality, we the Middle
Y'all in
East,
the
but
middle,
don't nobody
right?
call it that.
Right.
It's the middle of the East. Don't nobody call it the Middle East, but it's the Middle East.
Right.
But it comes from it's a Maryland, D.C., Virginia term. Kind of
DMV.
like it's a DM. We ain't had that.
It wasn't.
That didn't exist when I was.
Yeah,
Right.
The
So-
DMV was not a.
That's like 4 or 5 years old, something like that.
Yeah, because for me and Mike, my mom's side of the family, all DC, right? So every summer we would go out to DC, you know what I mean? And DMV was a new term like
Absolutely.
5 years ago.
It
And
was
I'm like, what's the when I went out there, I was like, the DMV? I'm like,
we used to
I was
call
thinking the
it
DMV.
The area. I'm from the area.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was nobody. There was no other place referring to their homes. I'm from the area, and if
Right.
you said the area, and you say, I know I sound different when I say certain words. So I know the area. Oh, all right.
So I'm about to take you back because, like, for real, we really, like, summertimes we lived out there. So my people's from northwest. So,
Okay.
like, 4th and Emerson,
Mm-hmm.
Tewksbury, Georgia Ave,
Georgia,
like,
yeah,
all that.
Good
Yeah.
old.
So PG County back in the day, like, for you, it was like when we, of course, we was all through there. But when we hung out there, it was like PG Plaza.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. and
So,
it was
like-
hectic over there.
Yes, to say the
It was
least.
hectic on that side, on that Hyattsville line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Montgomery Mall, all that, like
It's
all
like,
that.
and then you got once they built Arundel Mills, then
Yep. Arundel
Baltimore,
Mills.
and that's when Baltimore Bama started coming down. So
See.
that can go either way.
Yeah.
But I got folks up in Baltimore and I love them, so I never refer to them as outright Bamas. But you know what time it is.
But that was like the divide, right? Like,
absolutely, and it's you grow up and it's like, oh, this shit's because when you
Stupid.
living here in Colorado, you could fit D.C., Maryland, Virginia, and you could fit all of that in one of these cities out here because Colorado is big as hell. So to
Right.
have that type of beef in such a small area is like, man, come on.
Man, and DC and Baltimore is so different.
To be so close,
Yeah,
They
to be
are.
so close. They're
They-
two totally different places.
totally different. Because it seems like they got more of that upstate vibe, right? It's like closer to New York, whereas DC is
They
like
got a sound.
that southern
Baltimore
kind of.
club music is closer to like they juking stuff, and like DC we have Gogo.
Gogo.
So DC Maryland we got Gogo, and everybody don't. That's what kind of makes us us, because unless you from the crib, you really don't fuck with Gogo.
No,
Like that.
absolutely.
So I heard that.
Right.
So I heard that just through the grapevine that being into go-go is a prerequisite in terms of dating you.
Oh,
If you don't fuck with go-go,
she's like,
that's a
yeah.
no-go.
So, so
How
who?
do you feel about that?
She went to Howard, so it's like she went
Yeah.
to she went to Howard.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was kind of when the fact that she went there, I'm from there, I moved here, and she moved back. It was kind of we knew about each other's spots. But
Yeah.
Gogo was like, isn't it? If I'm cleaning up the crib, if I'm
Right.
having like a really good day,
Yeah.
it's gonna be playing. It's playing loud, and I'm in
Yeah.
that joint dancing.
Put
So
your right
who's
leg up, booty on the floor.
junkyard or backyard? Who's your
Between
go-to?
Between those two, it'd be backyard, because junkyard a little bit older. But right now, like for the
Yeah, what's
say
the up and
newer-
coming?
So you got a lot of new impressions. So I love new impressions. Probably one of the toughest Bamas out right now. You still go back to some older stuff from my time frame. M.O.B. There's certain songs by M.O.B.
Got it.
BYB Backyard gonna always be Backyard is kind of like
The staple.
they the staple, because you got Big G, you got Wink. Like it's just certain people. And it's like I'm rattling off names like y'all ain't gonna know who these people are, but
Nah, I probably
Man,
know because my cousin he keeps me
Hey,
informed.
but so the ill thing about it, man, I'm sitting in Uncle Damo's seat. Well, goddamn, it's so fucking comfortable. Shit, I've been
That's
tripping.
what Uncle Damon he gets, huh?
But the ill thing about it, man, it feels like I'm like conjuring up the spirit of Uncle Damo. So to give context,
Yeah, that's his line.
but to give context for people who are maybe laymen to go-go, maybe a mainstream go-go song is doing the butt. Or am I tripping?
nah, that's probably
No, that
what
is-
broke it
The
through
fact,
for
yeah,
real.
what brought go-go music to the mainstream was
Doing
the
the
song "Doing the Butt."
And what band was that again?
That was that's I want to say that's EU, because that's Sugar Bear.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
Sugar
EU.
Bear.
I
Yeah,
can't.
absolutely.
It's gonna be somebody from the crib, so I can't get no questions about Go-Go wrong. So I'm like trying to make sure. That I
Right.
believe that's
Especially if that's
EU.
a prerequisite, man.
That's it. I can't be wrong about it.
Nah,
But that's a
that's-
shout out to Spike Lee, because he threw that. I think that was School Days. He
It
threw
was
that in.
School
Yeah,
Days.
shout
Absolutely.
out to Spike, because that really. And then you hear interpolations of it. A. Marie had that one. This one thing. And
Yep,
they had the
yep,
drumming
yep,
in it.
yep.
Jill Scott done did it. So people grab certain parts and you'll hear it. And it's always good. And shout out to Wale, because he keeps
Yeah.
it kind
He
of
keeps
going.
it
He
going.
makes sure he includes it. And so, but it's a sound. It's definitely for me, because people are hearing it, but it's pots and pans. Like, and luckily, you know,
Yeah.
the woman I chose to spend my life with, like she's
into it.
not averse to it, so that works for me.
That's it. Well, speaking of that, so going back, so more of your background and like how you came to TSG Security, and then we're gonna get into your community organizing and all that.
Absolutely.
Tell us about, like, I think it started, or the impetus was with your military background.
Absolutely.
So Air Force,
Yes, sir.
right? Can you tell us about that experience and how it was? Because this is a cheat code. I was listening to the Connect when you were with Graffiti,
Shout out to
Yeah.
the homie Graffiti.
Shout
Shout out
Absolutely.
Graffiti.
and I'm going to just piggyback on that because everybody says for black people, like, that's no place. The military is no place for black people. Just expound on that and talk about your experience of, like, why that's the case.
It's a
Or that's the feeling.
it's a multi-layered thing. So we'll say from like big picture, the U.S. military goes around and wages war and takes resources and does what they do. Yeah, we benefit. We complicit in it because I'm an American citizen. I benefit from y'all going and taking oil and resources, and my life is good because of the wars you wage. From a inside looking out, you know, they prey on motherfuckers. They come to your high school. They send the recruiters, like they come and they prey on you because maybe you're gonna go to college, maybe you're not. I got this route for you. Like, what's the joke? Are you trying to get a track hawk? You trying to get a Hellcat? Like, come on and serve in the military. You can buy that car right now. Like,
That's a fact. That's a
put-
fact.
they come and they go. You don't. ain't no military recruitment stations in nice white neighborhoods. They in poor communities. They know who you know who you going after. And so for me, I did a year of college. I dropped out. I'm back home working. It's a recruitment center in Cap Center Boulevard. So where the Magic Johnson Theater was and all of that. I'm just talking to this recruiter, and it just so happened like I lost my job. I ain't had nothing else to do. Went into the military. But the reality of you belonging and not belonging there is like you got to compartmentalize parts of yourself. I ended up getting in trouble super early, barking back at TIs, and they like, oh, you DC niggas is crazy. It's like, nah, you just not gonna talk to me.
Right.
It's certain shit that I didn't deal with at the crib that I'm not gonna deal with down here at Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio, Texas.
Gotcha.
You're not about to all of this finger pointing like, we could take all of this shit off right now.
Right.
And man to man, because I had a job. So for me, if you go in looking at the military like a job.
Because that seems like a lack of respect right there.
That's
right?
what it is, but it's a lifestyle. We trying to break you down to build you up, to not question orders,
Right.
do it. Because if I tell you to go do some shit, to turn this off
Right.
and just turn these on. And then just
Right.
do what the fuck I say. And so if you aware who you are, if you assure yourself, I was raised by a strong black woman that taught me about the Panthers, that taught me about not only the men in the Black Panther Party, but the women. I was taught about Assata Shakur. I knew about Angela Davis. Like I was raised knowing about the stuff that we did as a people to resist this place. So I'm a part of this thing now.
Right.
And I need something. I'm a hard-headed 19-year-old little black dude, and
You need some type of structure.
I need some structure. So there's like a good part of it. But when I had military black men that was military training instructors that saw me because I got in trouble. I barked off on this TI. They say I spit on them. I don't remember spitting on them.
You spit on them.
But you get
most
to
definitely.
talking. You get
You
to
most
talking.
definitely. Coming
He
from
called him a
DC,
Bama and all
most
that. He
def-
gave it to him. Bama
Talking,
ass.
you getting saliva built up. It might have came out, but they came and talked to me. It's like, this is not our place. Like this place ain't built for us. So you gotta. They kind of kept it a buck with me. It's like, yo, be a fly on the wall, stay out the way.
Right.
Because they saw who I was, and they respect. After I barked on Cuz, they kind of fuck with me more.
Trying
like,
to help you get through it.
Yeah, they was, you not. I was like, I'm not no sucker. I'm not down here doing no dumb shit. But you gonna give me an amount of respect. I'm gonna do what you want me to do. Just ask me to do it. But of course, the military don't work that way.
Yeah.
But as a person, black, brown, whatever, because you're not going to countries with pale-faced people and opposing the U.S. military's will. You go into countries with people that look like you or look like somebody you might know, and you doing what you need to do for them.
So does that take a mental toll on you? Is that like when you see that, you know
Absolutely.
what I mean? Like,
I think it can. I mean, you getting desensitized. I was security forces, so I'm learning about IEDs at 19. You teaching me.
And tell the listeners.
I'm sorry, improvised explosive device.
Got it.
So I'm over there learning. If you deploy, because I was gonna deploy, you got to watch out for a soda can with string come out of it because it might be a bomb.
Oh.
Like you learning about what you have to look for when you deploy. So there's multiple levels of like, not only do I have to adapt and get desensitized to taking a life because you teaching me 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. You training me how to shoot, take it apart, put it back together, this.
Wow.
But you also asking me to like not question why I'm doing this shit.
Right.
If it's for the right reasons. If I could trust the Bama that's giving me these orders, because maybe he not morally sound, maybe his character off, maybe I know something about him.
But is that a soldier's role to question?
Nah, it's not. You a soldier.
So in terms of bringing that into context. So when we loosely say, "Hey, I'm a soldier," does that separate your ability to be a critical thinker? You can't be both.
It depends on your organization.
But can you be both? Can you be a soldier but also a critical thinker?
I think you can be a soldier and a critical thinker, but is gonna affect how good of a soldier you are. Because that's how what they call a mutiny on ships. When you overthrow the captain, there's a mutiny happening. Because maybe all of y'all started thinking, hey, this motherfucker don't know what he's doing. We could probably do this better. So
Right.
you can absolutely still be a critical thinker, but it's going to affect how you soldier. However, if the person giving you your orders is also solid as a person, moral character good, you sound, it shouldn't, unless your mission wrong. It really don't come down to how you are as a soldier. What's your mission?
I'm glad you said that, right? Because like you're being put in a situation where you really can't second guess, right? Because then that's when you
You get
lose your
court-martial,
life.
You get
Yeah.
court-martial. You get like there's
Court-martial,
punishment
like,
both ways.
yeah,
You get
absolutely.
I had hella Article 15s.
Right.
Chaz Gormley said he's a grown ass man, and I'm not gonna talk to him. You goddamn right. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna say what you want.
But I'm thinking like in the thick of things when you're going through the action
Somebody's
of war.
Somebody's life.
Yeah.
If you question, so we're learning to Bama's play Call of Duty and do this shit all the time. But like back then, I ain't played no military. So when you learn to clear a building, breach, bang, and clear.
Right.
So you breach, you bust the door open, bang, you throw in your flashbang, clear, you going in and clearing out whoever's still around. The reality is like whatever there's a percentage, there's studies. The point man, the number one, the first person through the door, 9 times out of 10, you dying. Because you the first Bama through the door. After they breach, think somebody kicking your crib. Somebody, we all in here tooled up for whatever reason, we doing dirt.
Yeah.
We hear the door kick open. Then a flashbang come through. I know what direction it came from. I'm just aiming. Ain't none of us over there.
That's where I'm aiming.
I'm shooting that way.
Right.
If I'm a critical thinker and I'm the first person going through, we ain't got no better way to do.
Yeah.
We can't do this no other way.
Right.
Why do I want that job?
We're going to be hot with it and go straight through where we just.
But I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's people raising their hands. Oh, I want to do that.
Think about how.
No,
Think about the
absolutely.
effect of patriotism on Bamas.
No,
It's people that are ready to go die for this place, dog.
yeah.
Ready and willing. And you had, what was it, Operation Enduring Freedom, or Iraqi Freedom. Before they started deploying Bamas from my tech school, they hadn't up-armored the Humvees yet. They ain't know what they was doing. They send them boys over there that you have no hard cover on the top.
So what year were you enlisted?
I went in 2007.
Gotcha.
2007, I went in. So they had been fighting, because 9/11 happened when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So then they start ratcheting up to start sending people over. And then, of course, that war keeps expanding. And they learning shit the whole time. And you're in school, you in basic training, then you in tech school. And you're hearing about guys that maybe was in basic with you that went ahead of you. Oh, yeah, such and such did. He just deployed. And you supposed to, I'm going to go
Just
do
be
it.
gung-ho about the
Yeah,
shit.
but they talk about it like we breaking you down to build you up. They say it. And they putting a battery in your back is what we would say. Like, you
Right.
trying to put a battery in my back
Yeah.
and send me off
To die.
to crash out. You sending me to crash out.
Yeah.
Because they not breaking the bank for the best gear. Like, they not going all out. Everybody ain't over there with night vision. Like, nah.
Man, yo, what killed
Nah.
me is when I was talking to a guy who was I was talking to a guy in a barbershop. And he was in special forces, but he was a boat driver. And I asked him, I said, yo, like, is the pay, like, how much are the special elite forces making? And he said, man, you may get a little hazard pay, but you're doing that for the love.
Got it.
They're not paying you. Cause I'm thinking, hey man, if I have this specific skill set where I literally can kill a man from 500 yards away with a sniper rifle, I'm assuming that this is a capitalistic country. The government is compensating compensating you for that.
You would think so.
No, this is people that love being in the military, that wants to learn dope shit, and that's just what they live for. The country is not compensating you for that special specific skill
It's
set.
the fuel is like your
Yeah.
it's patriot. It run off patriotism, dog. That's how you consider. Like, you had draft dodgers back in the day. You had to force Bamas to go. You ain't even got to force people to join the military no more. You run a commercial, show Bamas doing some cool shit,
And they all aboard, right?
Yeah.
and they ready to go. But
and
you
NFL's
don't
all
show,
tied in.
you don't show them. You're not teaching them about plug and bullet.
Later,
hole.
Hollywood.
Pleasure to meet you, bro. You're not teaching them the nitty gritty of that stuff. But you're not getting compensated. Because at the end of the day, even doing the security work here,
What's the motivation?
what's your motivation, and how do I tell you what your life is worth?
Yeah.
Hourly. How do I tell you what your life is worth hourly?
So let's bring it back to that, because why did you pick like the cannabis to have a security business that focused on cannabis specifically?
The big thing was wanting to have my foot in the door.
Okay.
Living out here and like I'm meeting brothers from the east side. I'm meeting people from all over, and I'm learning about the dynamics of living here. I'm learning about people being boxed out of like, oh, this used to be big Crip neighborhood. It's like I don't see no Crips with no jobs in the industry today. I'm sure they got eyeball this weed better than these little white boys that you got to teach how to do this. So I'm in my mind, I'm like, I literally wrote it down. I'm like, even if you don't want to do the security stuff, in order to be in the dispensary, you got to get your badge. So I was looking at it like, I'm going to give a Bama opportunity. You could do the security shit and see if you fuck with it. If you don't, you sitting in the dispensary all day. You know to pick up some game. And I'll tell them in an interview, like, bro, I don't care. Learn this shit. You don't have to do, you ain't signing no contract where you sign to me for X amount of years. This ain't a death row record deal. Like,
Right.
None of that. You can do what you want to do. But I wanted to.
Shout out to Snoop.
Hey, he
just bought Death Row.
Absolutely.
Came full circle. Shout out to Snoop.
Uncle Snoop. And it's just like I was never given a bunch of opportunities.
So you're just providing opportunities, and some of that motivation is like, hey, if you want to do security and you like that, but there's another aspect of just getting your foot in the door in the cannabis
You in the
business.
dispensary all day.
Got it.
You dealing with, because we signing off on packages, we interacting with all these ancillary businesses.
Got it.
Yo, soak up the game. And if you, hey man, I really want to do this, all right, bet. I appreciate you. You showed up to work. I ain't never get no complaints. You need a letter of recommendation. I got you.
Right.
And that was for me, and it was for myself. Like, maybe I don't want to do this forever.
Yeah.
But if I'm badged up, my dispensary badge lasts longer than my security badge is annual. I got to apply for that joint every year. Dispensary joint, I think, is 3.
Gotcha.
I could bounce into that easier.
So you're providing value there, right?
That's how I saw it. And it was like, I can't make anybody else see that, but in my mind, I try to be, we live in a capitalist society. I try to do some genuinely just like good shit within that system.
Yeah.
I gotta make money, I got bills to pay, I have a family I want to create and provide for, but I also want to do like the most humane shit I can.
Got it.
While doing that.
Man, in that dispensary business, man, you can't really use banks, so that's straight cash you protecting.
Yeah,
that's
a different
cash.
level.
That's a different level of responsibility, and that's a different level of skill set that you need to have.
And they cheap. They don't be wanting to pay. I'm keep it all the way a buck. Right. They don't be wanting, and that's when I go back to what's your life worth. I'm hiring somebody. I'm asking you to put a gun on you.
Right.
All you gotta do is watch the news and see the dispensaries getting robbed. So it's very much, regardless of what protective work you do. Maybe Denver PD get paid good, as far as I know, because they done talked to me a couple of times.
Well, you know what? I got a lick for you because you be on IG quite a bit,
Absolutely.
Right? So my man D.U.S.T. You know who that is?
The name is familiar.
So that's the Detroit Urban Survival Training dude. So I gotta ask you, man, because you're an expert, right? And you be seeing.
I'm not an expert. Okay. Don't say that, because then it's gonna be gun experts. Like,
all right. I don't want to put that kind of heat on you.
I know a little bit about a little bit.
But you know, you've been in the industry for a while.
I'm well informed.
So do you see this guy on IG and like how to, if you don't have a gun, how to take a gun, disarm, all this.
Secret squirrel with his.
Yeah, man. I gotta ask you, is it real? Can that really happen?
So,
can it save your life?
If a gun is drawn on you, give it up. You're not quicker than this.
Got it.
You're not about to go ahead and move right now. Just
right.
You're not moving quick. You're not moving. That's a brain the finger.
Got it.
The reality, if a gun drawn on you, just give it up. It ain't worth it. For jokes and shit, it's cool. Like,
it's just funny.
To have fun with it is cool, but you not. What's the joint when if I'm getting jumped, I'm circling around.
Oh
yeah,
man, we stomping you out. Like, you not.
No. The crazy one is like when you
around your dome.
You in the car. He got you in the car, and he's doing this joint, and you just pick it.
Like, you're not rolling up the window quick enough. You're not opening the door. Like, nah. Like, it's cool for jokes.
This podcast.
It's good for laughs, because it's a space where you gotta kind of slice through.
Got it.
Guns as a tool is a very serious joint.
Got it.
Have fun with it, but I don't want nobody out here like, yo, you not John Wick.
You're not John Wick, man. You're not Wesley Snipes, man. Because sometimes I feel like I could get in there,
one?
man.
I'm Passenger 57, or
I'm the 57.
I mean, I really feel
or
like
Drop Zone.
I really feel like I can slightly move my head to the right side in the barrels.
Because
his thing is just getting your head out of the way of the barrel.
In theory, it sounds good.
It sounds really good.
But when you moving your head, I'm moving like, oh, all right, your head here now.
That's like some Jet Li. Like
It is
just
very much
going
like you
I'm
gotta
good.
be on some real. I don't know too many people that's really on their martial arts like that.
I think you got a business for that, man. I think you could do it.
Sure, we charging a heavy fee. Ain't no refunds. None of that.
But I guess the positive thing about that is that, you know, I know one thing when I did take my concealed carry course is that they were like, you can't trust another man or a woman with your life.
You can't.
So it's like, look, if I'm in a life or death situation, I can't trust that they're going to let me live. So I think what he's saying is, hey, I'm just trying to increase your survivability.
But he be saying that.
And that's what he says. That's what he says.
But it's like,
I'm trying to increase your survivability. I'm not trying to make you a victim. At least if you going to go out, I'm going to give you the tools to go out trying.
I suppose, but it's it could go from a robbery to a murder quick. Like you do some dumb shit now.
I'm giving it up. Fuck that.
Like, but that's the just.
If you rob Courtney, I'm fucking giving it up.
Well, let's stay there.
I got
because,
insurance.
So let's stay there because to his point, I guess it's about survival, right? Like
in
your
reality,
best
you're not,
percentage of surviving. But for most caliber guns that people carry, if I shoot you, is that going to stop you dead in your tracks, or do you have the
from
ability?
Close range.
Yeah.
If I'm here with it.
Of course.
If body, it might not. You're gonna go into shock. So I'm shot. I'm going into shock. I've been
so
shot.
Brain
at,
function
like,
is just
it's
shut
like,
down,
Because it's
right?
what fight, flight, freeze.
Right.
So you're gonna do one of three things.
Got
You
it.
could try. Go ahead. Try to fight it.
So I think people that would fight back is like people of your caliber, because you would understand. Well, I'll say the percentages are higher.
If Leslie and I walking, so one of the things is like, it's a situational awareness.
Okay.
She knows when we go out to eat, I want to sit facing the door. It's very rare occasions when I'm like, all right, baby, I ain't tripping. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see what's coming. When we walking, she knows she's going to be on the inside of the street. Like, I'm trying to be aware of what's going on around us.
Got it.
The realest way to do that is like, just be aware of your surroundings. You prevent that from, it ain't perfect. Some shit might happen. But if your situational awareness on point, you're aware of what's going on around you, you kind of deter that from happening. But if somebody get the drop on you, your survivability, if I'm trying to rob you and you resistant,
I'm so glad you said that,
you
because
aggravating me now. Now I'm gonna shoot you because you aggravate. This was a robbery. Now it's a murder.
got it.
So
Go
fight, flight,
or
freeze, give.
Yeah.
No,
But I
that's
think
that's
Oh,
in
no, I'm
the-
giving.
Yeah, that's in the freeze. If you
Yeah.
that's,
The gives in the freeze.
That's in like because I'm not doing shit. Go ahead, take what you want. I'm not resisting. Take what you. But fight, flight, or like you gonna run, and that could go either way.
right.
Because these young Bammers now,
They got good aim.
they can't shoot. They don't go to the range.
So you just saying?
I'm
let
just
me
saying they
go.
going an innocent bystander gonna get hit. It happens.
Got it.
So
I
it's
feel
just-
like you had something, Mike. Was it?
No, I was just curious as to what he's holding on right now.
I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. We just came back from traveling, and I've been getting very comfortable not carrying. Like,
Okay.
I've been in countries where guns are not as easily accessible. We was talking about it before the show, and it's like it's a feeling I be trying to hold on to. Like I just went and got this Buddha head joint. Like I'm really embracing having that balance.
Having
I knew I was
peace
having
and-
like it's like it ain't perfect, and you got instructors. Oh, you should carry it all times. It's somebody gonna say something in the video, whatever.
Well, tell the listeners what you think it brings when you are carrying an open weapon and it's not concealed.
So on a subconscious level, when I'm open carrying for work,
Yep.
if it's not me, it's the people around. Like if you see somebody with a visible gun on them, you're not gonna beat it. You paying attention to them.
Yeah.
And that's the same with
Yeah.
people that can open carry as a civilian. You got states where people can open carry. If I'm coming in a place to do wrong, oh, he got a gun on him. Let me get rid of you. Let me get you out the
You
way
the target.
first. Let me get you out because you a hard target. You
You the
got
threat.
soft targets and hard targets. You a hard target because you strapped.
Right.
If I want to rob this store, they got armed guard. I got to get him out the way. That's what's happening with these smash and grabs in the stores and shit. When
Right.
they running it, they hitting the security guards with the spray. The staff ain't gonna do shit. Y'all done already took out the Bama. We hire to protect us.
Right.
So when you visibly carrying, it changes the environment around you. When you conceal carrying, only you know, only you should know.
Right.
It changes you. It can change you. It shouldn't, but we all human. We all somebody bumped me in some shit. Hey man, hey, chill out. But I've been in situations where I know I'm carrying and I'm still trying. Hey, man, relax.
But the lame thing about it is cats be like,
but that's
you barely bump them. They like
that's the ignorant shit.
But that's the ignorant shit,
it.
and that's when you ain't. Maybe you have took a class and you just disregarding everything you was taught, because that's brandishing. That's a crime. You somebody called up. He showed his gun. When people be all of that, you can't shoot into the air. Ain't no such thing as a warning shot. Don't flash. If you gonna pull it, use it. Period.
Got it.
Don't flash nobody that joint. Like
that's like a boxer, right? That has like
your
lethal
hands are
weapons.
lethal
like
weapons.
weapons.
Can't,
like you're not gonna go
Floyd
out there
got
and just
security
beat up.
for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, I mean, I did a little digging on your page. I know you've been heavily involved in the yoga, doing all that, and meditating. How are you balancing the two?
So I check in with myself before I leave the crib. Like if I'm getting up for work, if I gotta be in the right headspace.
Right.
I won't go to the safe. I won't. Today, one of them days, I always got a knife because I might need to cut something open. So I always got a blade. So I'm never like, I'm never unarmed for real. I'm never a victim. Like I know I'm gonna do what I gotta do. But with a firearm, it's just like, it changes stuff because it has one job. It does one thing.
Right.
If used properly, it does one thing. It eliminates the threat. Sometimes I don't want that energy up.
Neutralize the situation.
Sometimes I don't want that on me.
Right.
Sometimes I want to de-escalate verbally if
bring
I
peace.
can.
Bring peace.
And so it's just like it's a balance, and that's when we was talking about just owning firearms. Like you start amassing more of these joints. Like what you doing? Yeah, you can, but should you? It's like you can, but should you? Like should I? I could go buy a 50 caliber joint right now, but I don't plan on shooting down no jumbo jets. Like,
but how do you? Right. And that's the thing. Like, how do you fight the urge? Because like we're humans, we're born to fail, but we're born curious, right? So if I have all of these. If I have this 30-round AR-15 with the door breachers, with the suppressor, with the
Are you talking about like the hobbyist?
Optics, I had this Ferrari
that wants to get all these.
Yeah, I have
toys.
all this. I had this Ferrari of a gun, or I've amassed this armory of guns. Mm-hmm. What stops me from wanting to use them?
I think that's a moral question.
Yeah,
because we got big shit in the house. It ain't a lot of guns
that's
on my
a flex.
page. Like,
so you got big shit in the house. So don't
we
come
got,
over there fucking around.
Right.
You got big shit. You might have a bazooka.
We got the Mossberg.
No, bazookas. You got bazookas over there.
I don't put photos
Street
up.
sweepers.
Like hey, look.
You got the
AK,
chopper.
all of that.
Yeah. Come over here if you want.
Break it down, put it together. But it's like I don't put that energy out, and I really not on some esoteric. I don't put that vibe out there. I don't carry myself that way. Even owning a security company, being a firearms instructor,
Gotcha.
I'm never Billy Badass. Like I'm never out posturing.
That's good, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like I said, the meditating, like I can just see that with you, like very calm dude,
Absolutely.
very laid back. Like if you were to say you were a gun nut or something like that, I'm like, this dude right here, not at all.
But I prefer it because there's
exactly, yeah.
You got the people that like wear the t-shirts and like I don't.
Right.
In the classes, I tell people like in reality, you have to doing security. I got to think like the people we provide security against. So you got to think that way you move through life. If I throw a sticker on my car to say Glock owner, like I got shit on my car showing that I own guns. If I break in the cars and I'm looking for a particular thing, I'm going to hit the car with the sticker on it that say AR assault life.
Right.
Or
Got
Glock.
NRA for life.
Yeah, like
bringing that kind of attention to you.
Even that type of simple. When we went and bought her, what did we get her? We got her a little 380, and it came with stickers and everything. He's like, you could slap this on your truck. And I was like, he said it to her, and she just looked at me. I was like, and she knew. She was like, I'm not doing that. I was like, no, That's
Nobody.
stupid. And this is somebody selling you the gun.
You got her one of them little garter belt, little
I
straps for
that
the-
deuce.
For when we role playing stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We got Mr. and Mrs. Smith over here, man. They, that's how it got. That's how they met. Like,
Yeah.
We actually met. She was my yoga instructor. That's
Oh,
she
okay.
nice.
Oh, so she's responsible
Nice.
for the zen.
She brought me
Gotcha.
a whole
I didn't
lot
know
more
that.
zen.
Bussin',
Yeah,
bussin'.
man. But
She brings the calm.
Trust me, I was wild.
Got
she
it.
can calm me down a
That's
whole
good.
lot. But it's definitely that to where it's no need to broadcast it. Like
Right.
I know what I'm about. The woman I love know what I'm about. In my community, they see me doing the work. They see me doing security. They come and do the y'all know what I'm about. I don't need. If I wanted to, I could be one of the dumb Bamas on Instagram Live every day and legally be showing.
Right.
Right.
But for what? And that's when I talk about, it's like, why? What's your intention? What's your motivation for doing it? When you going out, if you a hobbyist and you like them, go ahead.
Right.
But just you got to know. You can't lie to yourself.
Man, can I give you a round of applause for that, man? Because, you know what we talk about, you know, when you talk about heroes, right? Like, I think that, you know, what you're speaking about is somebody that humble, hardworking, confident, but I'm not going to go out there and show you, like, what I'm about and have an ego and, you know, get into all this flashy
you gotta
stuff.
keep it in.
I think somebody that has that kind of power, because a gun is power.
You know,
Like,
the
that's how
Bama's-
you have to react,
When he was
and that's how
talking
you
about
have to
people
act.
flashing, like that's that. Oh, you not. What you doing that for? Because
Right.
if you nice with it, it's no need to. When it come that time, we done. Like it's a
No
wrap.
need to talk. You like,
Yeah.
it's a
But
wrap.
if you out here, oh, I'm gonna go, you not about to do. And I've had to deal with it working. I'm about to go to the car and get to, and I followed him
Like,
outside.
I'm gonna follow you right to
and
your
then
car.
He done gone and got it and dropped it, and I'm like, I'd have shot you right now because you popping all this shit, but you not built like that.
Right.
And that's when you.
Hold on.
You
hold
probably
on.
go
You
to the
hold on, hold
car.
on. You said you followed dudes to the car and he just out there fumbling and you just
Absol-
calm as hell.
You have to be.
My goodness.
That is
Man,
scary.
Yeah.
man, he
That's-
probably watching
that
that
is
car
a-
get in the car and drive
That's a
home.
different level of
That is.
concentration, man.
You have
for real.
You have
That is.
because it's so one of the biggest joints in that type of work is like de-escalation.
Right.
Yeah.
You do that through
Absolutely.
your body language, but you do that through what you saying. I'm not gonna gas you up. Nigga, I wish you would. I ain't doing none of that, bruh. Don't do it. I'm begging you. I'm begging. Don't do that. Cause I showed up to this event. to
I'm
work.
ready.
I'm ready. I came. I got this pistol on me. It's probably an AR in the car. Like, it's some shit around. The Bama's working with me. I've trained them well. I know they could shoot. They also have the same demeanor because I'm not hiring no hothead. So I'm begging you, hey, don't do this. At the end of the day, I don't want to have to use my gun ever.
Yep.
Got it.
I know psychologically when I was 19, the shit I was doing to cope with, like, yo, I might have to worry about a bomb going off. I might have to worry about all this other shit. So now at 35, hey, bro, please don't make me do this, man.
What's up,
This podcast.
Have you ever
Bussin'.
had to?
I've had to draw it just because it can't. I was working moonlighting at on Wetland Street at the Roxy.
Yeah.
And an event, there's something happened on the back joint, and I was doing work with. They had a artist that was in town, and we getting them to their car, and somebody got the busing in the back, and I'm running in the direction. You got to run towards the fire. You put out fires, you got to run towards the fire. And so in that instance, yeah. But everybody gone by the time. But you running, I'm at low ready. I'm not up here, my finger off the trigger. So I've had to draw it to respond to shit. But luckily, I've never had to use my firearm to defend my life or anybody else's.
Good.
And it's like either it just hasn't gone that way, or the de-escalation is just because I've had people in my face, big threats, and I'm doing the breath work. Yeah, I see you breathing all hard. It's like, bro, I'm trying to calm myself down because me not the nigga I used to be, and me out of work, not wearing this uniform for this business I started. Like,
That's
I would
something
probably
different.
handle this shit. I can't. You haven't touched me yet. You
You gotta
just
be
popping
professional. You gotta
Yeah.
be professional.
because people
This
are
is my
looking. 'Cause
job.
the logo on the back, and this is potential
brand.
clients
It's a
standing
brand.
around.
This is what you
And
represent.
so it's luckily I haven't, but it's like I don't really even focus on the guns that much. Like I really, when I talk to people, I'm like, yo, you as a person, because you could come and do a class and I'm not ready to take a life. Cool, don't buy a gun because that's its purpose.
Yeah.
Got it.
Take a
Period.
life.
Yeah.
So
that-
real quick,
yeah.
changing pivots, like Uncle Damo likes. Can I pivot, y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I pivot? Thank you. I was gonna ask you. So I have this argument with, because I don't have guns. You know what though? I'm a pretty good shot. And I don't know if that's because I play video games or something
But
like
you
that.
are though.
I go to the range like I'm good.
You're pretty but you're a natural.
Yeah,
killer.
I don't know. It might be my
hand-eye
deal.
coordination.
Yeah, that
My
too.
grouping is the
That's
same.
dude.
That's
My
all I'm
my
gonna
jump
say.
shots, all right. You know what I mean? I could pull it together.
Yeah, you're a natural.
But earlier you mentioned the drop, and you know what? There's always conversations of like, hey, if school shootings, grocery store shootings, like if they would have had their gun on them, that kind of de-escalates the situation. You, as a person being in the military and being in action, like, can you explain to people like what the drop is? Because I keep telling people like, and this is my argument, and you can debunk it if you want, but it's like when somebody comes in and you just eating at a restaurant or you doing something and they ready, they got the drop on you, and your chances of survival, and if you have something on you to then pull it out and react to the shooting, is slim to none, and you're not really going to survive that interaction.
No, that's real. Like, even with my baby, make sure I'm sitting facing the door. Like, if I'm facing in the direction,
Right.
I would have to be. So in the work, we like watching eyes, watching hands,
Right.
watching your eyes to see, because your shit cut low. Oh, you got something going on, and I'm watching your hands to see if you around waistbands or what's in them. I would have to have the drop on you. I would have to catch you in the act of going and doing this to be, oh, nah, not today. If you come in and you out with the joint that happened at the King Supers in Boulder,
Yes.
it would have been better if there were more people in there with first aid for CPR, first aid for gunshot wounds training than people strapped
That's
up.
a fact. That's a fact.
Because and I tell people this all the time, we not superheroes. Even when you come and get your concealed carry permit, you're not a crime fighter.
And what do you do under pressure? How do you really react under pressure?
You got put it in a real world scenario. I'm black. I'm in Boulder in the King Super. Somebody done come in shooting. I'm going to draw my firearm to respond to this joint. There's another concealed carry permit holder somewhere in here. We don't know each other. How you know I ain't the nigga that got the shooting? So when you come around that corner and see, how I know you're not going to shoot me?
Right.
That happened, but that happened
Talk to him,
when the
man.
police officer killed the
That
guy.
white dude, exactly.
The white guy got killed by the police officer, and he was
he
actually the
helped the cop.
hero.
So it's not this, the bullshit notion is like, more gun owners, people to be safer. It ain't like we got some shit over our head that can't nobody else. You're a gun owner. Like, I don't know that you a gun owner doing the right thing. I can't. You drew your joint too. How I know you not with Buddy? How I know you ain't his backup? How I know you wasn't the Bama in the store? Yeah, it's sweet in here. Ain't nobody.
There's so many elements and variants that play in to be like, to keep the situation safe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's unfortunately, and the phrase I use is like Pandora's box got opened a long time ago here as far as firearms. There's far too many to ever realistically do something. You seen how they acting about masks and vaccines. Tell these folks you taking guns, they gonna lose their motherfucking minds.
Oh, it's
Right.
over. It's over.
But I think the thing is that, and I'm not pro-gun, and I think people should have the right to bear arms. Like, I'm all about that. I just choose not to because I'm
Because you
scared.
got that right.
Yeah.
Because you the same way
Right.
I have a right to own them, you have a right to not to.
Yeah.
Like it worked both ways.
Absolutely.
And it's just, I think if anything, it's just an educational piece.
That, and I think the access to guns is the problem. Is like, it's so easy to get one. Like that's the beef I have.
No, and that's a fair, like, I'm a gun owner that, like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not, it's in the Second Amendment one. I was talking to somebody and they were like, yo, if you want to think about how wild this place is, the First Amendment is freedom of speech. The second joint, right to bear arms. There wasn't no food for everybody. Like, we gonna make sure we could feed all of our citizens. It was like, and you could have guns. Like,
But it was a right to bear a musket,
I'm
not a fucking AR-15.
But now I'm gonna say what I want, and I got a
and
gun
I got
on
the
me.
gun to back it up. And like that's what with the protests and stuff, that's what you had people, I don't like what they protesting about, but I thought I had freedom of speech. But I got, your words ain't stronger than these bullets.
Right, and that's the battle.
And the unfortunate part is the proliferation of firearms. Because when you look at a lot of the shit happening in Mexico, it's U.S. firearms that are being funneled down there. Like, the cartels have a lot of power. They got a lot of shit. They also got a lot of U.S. firearms.
Got it.
We have way too many joints here. And that's what, when you ask, like, I ain't got shit on me now. I've been in Iceland, and I ain't seen a gun store fucking nowhere.
Peaceful.
I went on a hike, like, I came back and was like, damn, whenever I gotta come back to the States, I'm just like, man, God damn, I gotta go back and be around these motherfuckers.
These ignorant, crazy,
Wow.
And that's
ghetto motherfuckers.
And it's just a mindset, both ways.
That's
Ghetto
not-
is
that
ghetto.
says a lot.
And it's like, it's something I don't, like, we got off the plane, and as soon as we left DIA, we on I-25, headed back to the city. I felt it, and I was like, all right, yo, I can't let this leave my body. I can't let this move. Like, I felt myself like, man, damn. And I was like, I can't take this out on people. I got to deal with this on my own. But it's a feeling that you get when you come back and you somewhere where it's like, yo, this is a culture here that other places do not understand. It don't even make sense to people. It doesn't. Like, you go to the UK, I had a buddy who used to like, oh, in order to go hunting, it's a whole bunch of loopholes. It's a whole bunch of legwork you got to do.
Yeah.
They got to come to your house and check it out. Like, there's a bunch of stuff.
Even phrases that we have in this country is tied to guns. Like, even in sports, right? And it's funny when they say this, even in sports, oh, man. Like, for example, the Super Bowl. Oh, but Joe Burrow got all these weapons. He got all this high firepower.
He got a cannon for an
He
arm.
got a cannon for an arm. You know what I
It's
mean?
like, it's woven into the fabric.
Yeah.
And that's like,
Even on this podcast, right? I had the gunshots of like when
Yeah,
somebody had.
Yeah.
And I
yeah.
took those
but
off.
that's cultural.
Right.
And that's when we were talking about, like, just owning firearms as the global majority. We can't become them. Don't become these people that worship these, because they tools.
Yeah.
At the
Right.
end of the day, it's a tool that helps you do a certain type of job.
Right.
And it's a tool for self-reliance. It's a tool so I can rely upon myself. How you were saying, like, if I'm a concealed carry permit holder, when her and I out, or the people that we out with, I know we good.
Right.
I know that if something happens, because it takes law enforcement, it takes paramedic services, it takes X amount of time. We're going to say on the low end, it takes 10 minutes. Set a time on your watch for 10 minutes. Let us finish this conversation. 10 minutes is a long-ass time.
It is, man. It
So
is.
it's a tool for self-reliance, but don't stop there. If you got a firearm, cool. Have you taken a first aid class?
Yeah.
If the power go out at your crib, do you have a generator? Like, people stop at the gun like, oh, I got a gun. That's straight, but what if he gets shot right now, I can't put my gun in his bullet hole. It don't stop the bleeding.
Right.
You could take a life, but can you save a life?
Can you save a life?
Can you save
So
a
it's
life?
like,
And having that healthy understanding that even though I have my concealed carry permit, I am responsible for every bullet that comes out
and that's
that
that
gun.
law. That's the law.
So if I end up killing somebody, do I have the finances to buy me a lawyer for my defense and be okay with the fact that this may not be a justified shooting?
And that's when you get to the law part, and you got to think, can you handle that up here? Can you handle, even if you train, say you miss, say cuz do move fast. You hit an innocent bystander. You hit somebody's child.
I'm responsible for that.
Yeah.
And can you live with that?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, man, because that like that's always my argument when people are like, well, yeah, if somebody had a gun in that situation, it can diffuse and, you could save lives. And I'm like, no.
That
Like, one, you
sounds
got to
good.
be trained, like super trained. And even then, if somebody has the drop, it's most likely it's a done deal. Like,
And that's not just, you think when you go to the gun range, you standing still, shooting down the street.
Right.
This
Right.
is, you shooting while moving maybe. You shooting with somebody shooting back.
there's so many elements.
And this ain't Call of Duty. Ain't no revive. Ain't no get out the gulag. Like, none of that.
Ain't no
Nah.
John Wick type
They
shit.
ain't
yeah.
none of that. He get shot a lot of times in movies.
Right.
Fuck no. Like,
Yeah.
But talking about the movies, like, it seemed like actors now are kind of getting that
they
that
getting
real
trained.
gun training of like, hey, this is how you properly
Okay,
hold
Keanu's
a
for
weapon.
real.
Oh, I don't want
So-
no smoke with Keanu Reeves, movies or real
Keanu's
life.
for real.
So who do you think, what actor is like the best with guns right now? Besides Keanu, I think he's probably top. Who's next?
I don't know if you've seen the film, the Without Remorse joint with Michael B. Jordan.
I've seen that.
He
I
went through the
did.
same. So there's a specific school of instruction that they send a lot of the actors to.
Got it.
Michael B. Jordan solid. Like
He played that role.
He played that role, but he also like he trained. There's a I follow a lot of I'm gonna say gun influencers. I follow a lot of the people that do that work, and there's it's a lot of military veterans, and there's actually a brother. There's a military veteran. He went to him for his long range training, and then the school for like a lot of the close range stuff. They be putting them in real. Michael B. Jordan.
They be
solid.
looking serious, man.
Michael B. Jordan, like I think he might give Keanu a little bit older,
Okay.
but he moving slow because I watched that new Matrix and he ain't got them John Wick films and slowed him down a little bit. So I think
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan might get the drop on him.
Younger
But I say
kid,
really, I
yeah,
think
younger
so.
man.
I think Michael B. Jordan might be solid, but also what was the film? What's the Colombiana joint with Zoe Saldana? She was looking.
She was hardcore on that.
Yeah.
I like that movie
That's
too.
good.
That was a good
That
one.
was sweet. So
Shout
I think
out
right
to
them is my
Zoe.
two right there. Yeah.
Okay.
So
So-
can you provide that type of training?
So in order to provide that type of training, I gotta go get that type of training. I've been
Got it.
removed
Okay.
from the military for so long.
Huh?
I don't like my shit is strict. We do home defense. I could come to your crib and show you the angles and everything. If you had to do some shit in your home, I could show you. But running through and multiple, nah.
I
Nah.
got you.
Nah.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
not
similar
yet.
to my brother. I got a 1975 Ty Cobb Louisville Slugger as my home protection, right next to the bed.
Just hey.
I got these hands.
right there you go.
There you go.
Them
You said
two.
his dog. You said his
Amateur
dog.
boxer right here, second place. I got
Right.
these hands.
That's
it,
all
a
I got.
phone and that's all you. Hey, 911.
Nah,
show,
somebody
hey,
go
that
get the
mic-
drop on me. If I'm like, they gonna be like, pop.
911. Somebody got to get these hands. You got 10-minute response.
Somebody about to get these pop. That'd be the end of J. So let's shift off guns because we've been talking about that a lot. And you
Well,
do
real quick,
a
Taylor,
lot of.
wait,
Can we just? Yep.
Just real quick before we shift off.
It's
of guns
always a
real
real
quick.
quick.
I know,
In
man.
thi-
They never
in
let me
this
get it
chair.
off. They never let me get it
In
off.
this chair specifically.
Go
just,
ahead, man.
Just real quick before we shift off of guns.
Mhm.
In terms of home defense,
Mhm.
right? Before we shift off of guns, you're a home defense trainer, right? For a person who is in the market for buying a gun or thinking about home defense, what are some options for them, just off the top of the dome, that they could possibly purchase for a first-time gun owner?
Number one is whatever you can properly handle, period. That's for it don't matter caliber. You could be a little old lady. If you can handle a 50, if you can handle a Desert Eagle, buy the Desert Eagle. Because I've had people in class. A brother brought his mother, and we was doing the class. I was told I couldn't shoot Glocks. I was like, "What you mean you was told you couldn't shoot Glocks?" Oh, because they're. I was like, "Hey, because they're what? Like because they don't fit your hand? Like there's some reasonable things that there's certain guns. Glocks are kind of fat, so if you got smaller hands, that wouldn't make sense." But she was told, "Oh, just because they're Glocks and you can't shoot Glocks, like not a certain caliber, not because of anything that would make sense." So first and foremost is whatever you can properly shoot.
Okay.
Because you got a lot of people say, "Oh, you should just get a shotgun," because when they hear you rack it, they'll run away. That sounds good unless I also have a shot. It's like, "Oh, we're just gonna see who better with the shotgun."
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you can properly handle and maintain, and the biggest, I say realistically, the biggest consideration: are you in an apartment complex? Are you in mixed housing? Are you in like a home where it's just you and your family? Because you want to consider the caliber of what you're shooting. You want to consider whether it's a jacketed hollow point round or if it's a target round.
Glad
Because
you
a target
said that.
round,
Yeah.
target round is going through drywall. So if your kid's in the other room or if you got neighbors, you're responsible for every round. Like we said, ignorance does not mean the law don't matter. Oh, I didn't know it was. I just came back from the range. I didn't change out my ammunition. That's on you.
Yeah.
So I would say a shotgun, a long gun might be overkill. It might be too much because shotgun round spread.
Right.
What you deal if you at the doorway, maybe, but it's you still responsible for all those
Hallways.
pellets. Like you're responsible for a lot. A handgun requires you to be accurate, but if you're going out and buying a gun, go train so that you are accurate.
Hey, y'all, make sure you go out there and train. I think that's the most important thing to your point.
That's all it is. When we were talking earlier, you get better. You're grouping everything. You have to train, and that's dry fire training. So that's at the crib, unloaded, no live round, and just getting used to pulling the trigger. Just getting that muscle, that mechanic, just getting that drilled in.
Let me ask you though, like, so since we are talking about home protection, would it behoove you to ever think about buying rounds that actually don't kill and kind of knock out, I guess, rubber bullets or something like that, or
so
something
shotguns? I've got a couple. They're called self-defense rounds.
Okay.
It's just more or less like a big. We'll say it's a rubber bullet or like a bean bag, but you have self-defense rounds. If you feel that way, where like I want to be able to defend my family, but I don't want to take a life. What's my in between? You could do a self-defense rounds, which is that, and like I have it's an M. It fires. I'm gonna call it a grenade launcher. It ain't a grenade launcher, but it fires.
That don't sound like
Man,
that. That don't sound like that doesn't
No,
mean in life.
a
We have a grenade
I'm
launcher.
calling
You
it
trying to
a-
kill a couple
I'm
of
gonna call
people.
it, but it fires concussion rounds. It fires concussion rounds, so they make a sense. So you have non-lethal. You have non-lethal ammunition that you can buy.
okay.
And handguns, you got simunition rounds, but that's training stuff.
Got it.
And handguns is real difficult to get them non-lethal rounds. The bigger you go with the shotguns, you can get those like beanbag joints. With the grenade launcher, you can get the concussion rounds because it's crowd control. You got crowd control stuff that they use, so you can get those.
Got it.
But that's when you get into the individual versus area of people.
Gotcha.
So the
Proximity
shotgun,
and everything
so
like
that's
that.
with the grenade joint, the concussion rounds. That's usually for multiple individuals. With the shotgun, with the non-lethal, self-defense rounds, that's just meant to like it's gonna break some ribs, but I ain't gonna kill you.
Got it.
So it's just like maybe you live in a neighborhood with a bunch of break-ins and it's kids breaking in.
Gotcha.
All right, you gonna catch this shotgun slug that's a non-lethal round and it's gonna fuck you up, and maybe you stop breaking in the homes. So you have some options. So it's never, you don't have to go straight, I'm killing Bamas. You don't have to.
Gotcha.
You don't have to just jump out the gate and start killing niggas if you don't want to.
But you can have like the shotgun with the, what do they call it, like rock salt or something like that.
So
and
you
just
got,
like,
you got,
bam, and
yeah,
that'll knock you
it'll
out.
fuck up your day.
Yeah.
You going, this motherfucker shot. It's got rock salt, because that's.
You gonna feel like you got
It's
shot.
gonna feel like you got shot. So you have some options, but it's just once you start going down that path, that's when you get, well, what you got it for? Like you have people that will begin to be on your head about it. But it's like if you don't want to take a life, like I can't force you to.
Got it.
But it's realistically for the home defense. What can you use properly? And
Well, I'm gonna come see you for a different reason, because I want to go hunting. I want to give me I gotta hit me a deer, man, because I'm a meat eater, and I feel like if I eat meat, I gotta be able to kill it.
we on the same page, because I have been wanting to hunt since I moved out this joint.
Well, let's make it happen,
What's
man.
up?
All right.
All right.
We got a boy in the crowd right now who says he wants to go out to
Matt
for the big
I'ma
five
hit
right
you up.
now.
I thought Matt Chan was blowing arrows.
He's both.
Well,
he does well.
no. So my boy's in the crowd. He wants to do the big five. He wants to do the Cape Buffalo. He wants to do the lion.
I want
You know
some
what I mean?
venison. I want some venison meat.
First try. No. He wants like first go around though. He doesn't want to
Yeah, he
warm
going
up
right
to
after.
it.
Oh,
he
He
wanna
wants to
jump
go.
out.
He wants to jump right out the window and go right after
rhinoceros.
a goddamn rhinoceros.
Lion. My man's on another level. But so switching gears here, let's talk about community organizing, because I think it's awesome that you not only self-defense for Black people, but also community organizing. And I know how you feel about that term of what that means. But
I'll take it.
but I think it's interesting because you come from the DMV, and living out here is a culture shock for you, right? But I think what you've seen out there and how you want to try to bring that element to Denver is pretty dope. So can you talk about that a little bit, of like why you decide, to come here and stay here, and we glad to have you, you know what I mean? And why you're going that path of organizing the community for our own people.
I think to answer your first question, like to stay out here is just the pace. Like to go back to the East Coast, as I know I'm an outsider, so I know I don't have roots out here. So I know a lot of the stuff that people from here have to deal with, whether it's neighborhood shit, whether it's larger community stuff, like I don't have any beef that follows me around.
Got it.
So I can move around how I want to move around. So I never want to like dismiss the stuff that people experience out here. But for me, the pace, like I'm not I'm not worried about anything being in Denver, being in Colorado. I could slide out to Montbello. I go see graffiti out Green Valley. Like, I can move around. I can go see folks on the east side. I could be in Park Hill. I can move. I can go down Fed. Like, I can bounce to the west side. I can go around, and
Absolutely.
it's like, I'm not concerned about anything. I ain't got nobody that did anybody wrong, so there's no reason for anybody to have any animosity towards me.
Nice.
Being back home, it don't matter. You walking down the street, I got a homie. I gotta have a dog on me. We call guns the dog. I gotta have that dog on me.
Got it.
Just because.
Got it.
Just because.
Got it.
It don't matter that you not like as backwards as sometimes I think street fraternities are. I understand the dynamics of it. The fact that we don't have that back home, there is no affiliation that you really tied to just because you a nigga in D.C.
Yeah.
Got it.
So that kind of having gangs might help more. Because at least it'd be like, oh, he not affiliated. He a civilian.
Man, it's
Right.
funny you say that because James and I was talking to that. We was talking about that prior to the show about how the dynamic is different between being out west and being back east, to where like that gang culture back east, it just really feels a little awkward. You know what I mean? As opposed to gang culture out west. You know what I mean? And we're just kind of talking about how that fits in, and like for example, but you can't speak on New York specifically, but like that blood and Crip culture back east, how it just seems kind of clumsy. It doesn't feel as ingrained and out and like normal as it does this way.
It's fringe. I went to school in New York, and I got family up there. So when I was in school, they had this program that more or less let underprivileged kids get into this college. So it was Bloods there, it was Crips. I ran with who I ran with. I was an affiliate of who I was an affiliate of. And so I got to see how it works. And you imitating. You're imitating something that you've seen from afar. You're imitating something that was passed down to you. Because it gets out there because you got Bamas from out west that bring it over. And so now you're getting kind of like the diluted gang experience.
Exactly.
Because what hood you getting put on that
exactly
been putting people on forever?
Right.
Like, you getting DP for what? Like, what's the reason why this stuff is happening? The realest thing on the East Coast be neighborhoods. You just claim your neighborhood.
Yep.
That's it. And especially in D.C., they've probably tried to do colors, Crips, Blood stuff in D.C. and
It just fell on his
like,
face.
It's not going. What
Yeah.
you
It just
doing?
didn't.
Yeah.
It's not because it's always been
What you doing, young?
where you grew up.
What you doing, young? You lunching?
Yeah.
You
It's like,
lunching,
Slim,
young?
chill out. Like, you wilding right? Like, nah.
So talk about that a little bit, because to Cole's point, then my argument was like, it does look weird, but you wouldn't be surprised that it's out there because it's so popular. It's
fashionable.
It's a
now.
fad. It's marketable,
It's
right?
fashionable.
Like,
It's the fun thing to do. Like, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the.
you see it in the movies.
I'm gonna
You
say
know
it's
what I
the
mean?
disrespectful thing of it, because it originated. The origin of gangs was a good thing.
You see Snoop, you see Game, you see Lil Wayne, and it's like,
it's
it's a
marketing
cool
thing.
thing.
Now, if you a rapper and you not tied to a gang,
That's what I said.
you a sucker basically.
But so being from DC, let me preface this.
Mm-hmm.
Every city has its rough areas,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
Larger the population, I feel like the rougher it is. Like, and with DC, you know what I mean? Sometimes we claim like it was rough for us at times,
It's a
right?
bragging right sometimes.
Yeah, but DC, it's another level, right? Because there's just so many people, and to your point, it's neighborhoods, right? So like, I didn't really understand what a project or a ghetto was until I went to DC, and it's like Southeast, Bury Farms,
Mm-hmm.
and Acostia. Like, those places are gentrified now.
Long live the farms. They did knock the farms down. So,
But it was
long live the
wild
farms.
because when I went there during the day, it's like everywhere else.
Mhm.
It's peaceful, and things like that. Once the lights go out, I was at Bury Farms with my cousin, and that's different. Like, that's different of like, they looking at you like, to your point, it's not evident
It
like
don't
with
matter,
blood
like,
and Crips,
yeah.
because it's like, it ain't a color thing.
Unfamiliar. Who you know, like,
Right. Why are you riding around here? Who you with? And they just look at you different. It's like, yo, I know you ain't supposed to be here, fam. Like, we gonna be quiet and, yo, young,
And
what
if you
doing
look sweet,
here?
that's almost like if you innocent is almost like that's worse. You worse off.
Right.
Because we could do what we want with you.
Absolutely.
Like it's that type of energy, and that's what kept me here.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I like living peacefully.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I tell her all the time, I go back home, like, I jump on the metro, I'm looking at people's faces like, damn, niggas are not happy.
Cliquish, like
they just.
if you try to be friendly, like
and
what's
you
your
look-
angle, man? Like what you trying to do
What
to
are
me?
you trying to get over them? Because it is like it's an unfortunate joint. It came up at the tattoo shop earlier today. Like it's unfortunate. Like we look at kindness, like people being kind to you. Like you prefer somebody was mean to you.
Like it's a game.
You
Like
prefer
what you
like
trying
what
to
you trying to get over on me. I had family to come out here to visit and shopping, and people, can I help you? What do you need? They was averse to it. Like, yo, what they trying? Like, yo, they just doing their job. It's like they really are trying to help you, because you go to a store back home, man, it'd be tough for you to get some customer service. Like, you might have to pop
Right.
off to get somebody to pay attention to you. And so it's just very much like I look at living here as like a privilege. I look at living here like I love how
like that,
how
man.
quick
This podcast.
how quick I could get out into nature.
Listen.
I remember the first time I went to a hot spring,
Nice, man.
and I was just like, yo, what the, like, this is right here. And for me, I'm like, yo, what are y'all, like, how you gangbanging? It's a hot, like, because I
It's
know
hot
we don't
spring, right.
have
It's
that.
relaxation.
It's right here. You go on a
Mental health.
I love driving up the Boulder Chautauqua trails, like my favorite joint. And it is like that. There's a thing like when you lean into, I'll say, Eastern philosophies, Buddhism, Zen, yoga, and when you lean into these things, like being in nature has an effect on you. That shit real as hell. And so for me, it was coming to Colorado and being removed from my natural environment, from where I grew up, and being in an unfamiliar place. And like, I want to get more familiar with this spot. When I first moved out this joint, I was biking everywhere. And Bamas would see me all the time. Who this nigga on a bike? Biking around. It was when the Crips was still real heavy on the east. I'd be biking. Hey, what's going on, Crips? Good morning. Like, like, I'm enjoying my day. Like, yo, this is beautiful out this joint. I might look like a sucker. But I'm like, bro, I'm happy to be alive out this joint. Because back home, I know what it is. I can't bike through D.C.
Right.
and not have somebody run up on me and steal the bike, rob me. Like, I know what time it is, because to your point, what you were talking about, it's more people in a smaller space. So
Right.
you got projects, you got people living on top of each other.
Right.
And that's what I loved about coming here. I was like, I don't see no high rises.
A lot of
I don't
open
see-
space.
You got a yard. Like,
Right.
it'd be shit. And I understand it, though, and I always remind myself, I'm from the outside looking in.
Right.
Because somebody from here might go to the East Coast and be like, oh, y'all got everything you need. All around, you get the store here. That
Right,
ain't
all the
spaced out.
culture.
You
Right,
got
and it
you got a
does.
train that could get you, because the light rail is
Absolutely.
bullshit.
Yeah.
And it don't get me enough places I need
Nowhere.
to go. So I understand. Like, I'm always trying to be empathetic to where I am and to the people that I'm talking about. The people who's like, this is my home now. I've been out in Colorado now for 10 years, 10 plus. It's like 11 now, I think. It's beautiful to me, even with the wickedness. And so as a community, like, we just had people over for dinner last night. It's like, we want to open up our home. Like, community organizing, it ain't got to be rallying motherfuckers to go march. It could just be like, hey, yo, she hitting people. We're having 9 people over for dinner. I need you to go get some wine. And all right, baby, cool.
Absolutely.
And we just having folks over just to chop it up, because it's like, that's how you build community. Like, that's how you get back to, hey, your kids can come over here when you got to build that shit on a smaller level.
like that,
And
man.
then you go, because
Branch it out.
if you don't know me, hey, come show up to this event. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, I'm not from here. So
Right.
I can't go, yeah, you remember I used to go to East and do it. Like, I don't have none of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it has to be like, hey, bro, I be out here, we do the security classes. Oh, yeah, and I done had you over at the crib. You done met the wife. Like, you have to
You
create
build
community.
that trust.
You build that organically, though.
Yeah.
Like, organically. Don't just pop up with an event or pop up with some people to show up for. Like, have a cookout. Like, have a house, but like,
That's dope.
we a generation that don't do house parties. It's rent expensive as shit out here. Have a rent party. Niggas
Yeah.
just show up.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
let's get back to what we know. And so that's what I love about, and she from here, grew up out ACO. So it's just like, and went to Howard.
Yeah.
So got that, and I feel like that was why we worked out, because it was like, you see where I'm from, I see where you from.
Absolutely.
We have a shared appreciation for that.
Definitely.
And it's like, help me, and like, her demeanor helped me, calm down that back home nigga that's in me. Cause she's
Man,
had,
Howard turned my cousin like hella militant. So I can see, you know, kind of, I can see where you know, you're from D.C., she went to Howard. Like, my cousin graduated from Howard and started giving me all of this propaganda.
Oh,
like, literally mad books of just
it'll get you.
Black
it'll
power,
militant.
militant. And so I could see how that connection happened.
Because HU, Howard in the hood. Howard is a
Oh,
college that's in the hood.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you, even with your higher education, like you going to campus. As a young dude, we going to Howard to talk to the youngins, or we was trying to rob the niggas. Like, we don't fuck with these niggas, and we trying to holler at y'all youngins. That was the reality, because there's an animosity. Like, you out of town, because they would treat the locals. There's a beef. There's been a beef between Howard students and locals, but it's like it's simmered down a little bit, because now it's like a shared love. Like, you can't come here and fuck with our music and fuck with our city and not fuck with us.
Well, you had a friend that actually he didn't get stomped out, but yeah, he got jumped from here. You know what I mean? Kind of flashy a little bit, I would say, like dressed proper, like, you know, he looked like he had some money, and then just because of that brought attention that he wasn't thinking about it anyway. It's just like, I dress fly. That's just all I want to do. Get stomped out, you know what I mean?
And some then Nike boots probably.
Yeah, the Nike boots. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like, for me, that's what I have loved about being in Colorado, specifically being in Denver, because there's a beautiful black community that's here. Like, I moved here, it was probably peak Cold Crush. So everybody had a reason to come down and be in the fight. Like,
definitely.
That was when you was coming to the city for that.
It was 5 points. Yeah, you're
right. That was when it was the points.
The points before Rhino.
The point before this Rhino bullshit, all the whatever they want to call it. It's the 5 points or the East Side forever.
Right.
Whatever you want to call it. I was here before it got gentrified, when there was nothing on Larimer. When Welton Street, it was still open lots. And the big-ass apartment buildings wasn't there. Yeah. And it reminded me of home. And that was what I loved. I was like, damn, this shit remind me of the crib, because you had Welton Street. I could go down to the connoisseuria and get my food. Like, I got the food trucks. Like, you had that black and brown, seeing black and brown people live side by side with each other. So I know I could go to the supermercado and do my stuff. Like, seeing all of that reminded me of the crib. And so it was having that love for where I'm from and having that love for where I was at to be like, oh, I want to be a part of this joint.
Right.
And then once I start doing the work I'm doing, I'm like, all right, there's shit happening. Because I was here. It was when the shit with Marvin Booker had happened. When he had died in the sheriff's joint. That was how I met Brother Jeff, and I went down there and seen how he was moving. I was like, all right, I'm learning about the dynamics of the shit that they really don't talk about out this joint.
Right.
And for me, I was like, if I'm going to be a member of this community, I can't just be pulling up the party and have fun. Like, I got a skill set. I've got a particular, what's the Liam Neeson? I got a particular skill set. Like, I know how to do certain things, and I was raised learning certain shit. So it's like, yo, not only are we going to create community organically by, you know, developing friendships interpersonal, like, yo, let's organize and let's get together. We have power as a community.
So let me ask you this, because, again, referring back to the Connect when you were on that podcast, you said something beautiful that just I never thought of, and it resonates with me now. And we always talk about gentrification, right? And you said it so nicely. It's like, change is good, right? And I agree with that. I'm all about change on all kind of different levels. But I think the problem with gentrification is it's also displacement, right? So we always talk about integration, but it's not true integration, because it's movement of pushing people out, right? Like, when we make things look better and we, renovate and do things like that, it's never the black and brown that benefit off of that. It's like, nope, let's get them all out, bring all, the white businesses and those that can afford it, or give them the opportunities to make this a thriving place. But specifically, you said something of like, the reason why it comes here is because the flavor is there and they see the gems, right? But we just never get the benefit off of that. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's an analogy. Like, it's literally like, if you make a mistake on a piece of paper with black ink, you grab some white out, you white that shit out, you do it over again. Gentrification is like whiteout, but except you don't come back and do it over with the black ink again.
Yep.
You just keep it fucking moving like the
Yep.
shit wasn't there.
This podcast.
It's all
must
white out.
listen.
You look at Larimer Street now. It's basically just Lodo stretches down
Mm-hmm.
onto Larimer now. Because it used to be you knew when Lodo stopped.
No, you did.
Yeah.
You knew exactly when Lodo stopped, and you knew when this
absolutely.
the nigga shit. Like and that was what the people that didn't want to deal with Brodo and the bros and all of that shit. When you came 27th and Larimer, you could come in. This is fine. You could kick it, yeah, because this is where we at,
Right.
and we got better taste in music. Like we having more fun. We doing what you want to come to, and you comfortable. You feel comfortable coming over here, right? You
Right.
having a good time. You see that. Let's be over there, but then you eliminate the flavor. You get rid of all the spice, and now the meal bland as shit.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
so it's just like working in the fire. I've seen people die on Welton Street.
Absolutely.
I've met people that I remember. Skrill from around Solid Crip dude, just a good dude. Skrill was such a good dude. He was a wild ass nigga, but he was a good ass dude. And I talk about it all the time to people close to me, like it's Ghost. It's Ghost in the 5 Points. It's
Yeah.
Ghost on the east
Oh, yeah,
side. It's
definitely.
Ghost in Park Hill.
Definitely.
It's Ghost around this motherfucker. You could gentrify the shit all you want.
They still, but that's still there.
They still there. And like that's kind of when you come in and you put up these apartment complexes and you name them after black people but don't know black people live in them.
This.
When you force
This
when you force a
podcast
Welton
must
Street cafe to
listen.
have to put up a GoFundMe to try to stay in the building they've been in for decades. When you begin to come, we're going to renovate this neighborhood and make it better, but you don't take care of the people that was already there.
But
You
you want
can't-
them out of there.
You
want
can't
them
say
out of
you're
there.
doing it for their benefit. You can't say you're doing it to revitalize the neighborhood because you're not revitalizing this shit. You rebranding it.
And it's ill because it's a certain balance you gotta have, right? You gotta have a certain amount of gentrification to happen. You gotta have building, like you
It's
gotta
not
have
terrible.
improvement. It's not terrible.
It's not innately
but
bad.
but in terms of leadership in the city, you have to figure out a way to find that fine line to make everybody feel comfortable. And for me, I think part of that is the people that live there. Like, yo, if you choose to live in the city, you have to be open and accepting to a certain amount of city shit.
You can't be scared.
Yeah,
can't
because
move
for
to the city
so
and be
deep.
So when
for-
you say city stuff,
so like for
expound
example,
on that.
so for example, but you're gonna deal with homeless people, but you're gonna deal with a certain amount of break-ins in your cars. A prime example: when I was in D.C., I can't really say what part of D.C. I was in, but I went to Bus Boys and Poets, and it was a fine line of some of this shit is hood, some of this shit is being gentrified. You know what I mean? And when I was at that restaurant, it was blatant. You can tell, like part of this is starting to be kind of cleaned up. But then another part of this is being gentrified. But then how do you walk that line in terms of having the people who are benefiting off of the gentrification in terms of the cleanup part and are starting to feel a little more comfortable with staying in these neighborhoods, being able to accept the people who are already there.
And that's like, that's the burden that come with leadership.
Yep.
Like that's the burden that come with if you want to be a mayor, if you want to be a council person, if you want to be in a position of power where you get paid through tax dollars. That's what come with it.
Yep.
Like that's what come with that shit. You gotta fit because it's the 5 Points has needed that for a long time because that down in super has been trash for a long fucking time.
Facts.
So there has
Facts.
been a need for gentrification in regards to resources that's over there.
Exactly.
Because over at the people, everybody referred to it as the unsafe way. I
Yeah.
remember before the Bank of America was there, it was a check cashing spot right there.
Yep.
So I've seen the small nuggets of gentrification. You could tell when, this shit about to change, because that ain't a checking the cash no more. That's a Bank of America.
Yep.
The unsafe way got the big old cop joints out there now. Like you see, there's change coming. But if the natural inhabitants don't benefit from that, if they got to move to Montbello and Green Valley Ranch, so that Bamas from out of town could now come and afford to live in a 300 square foot apartment and pay $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck about what we really doing. Like, let's be honest and don't ask the natives to be cool with it. Don't ask the natives to rock with it and not have, even if you a black politician, even if you look like the people, Don't ask us to rock with you while you hoe us out.
Yep.
Don't ask us to do that. And then, it's not gentrification. Nah, we know what it is.
That part, man.
Like, we know what time it is. And like I'm a forever, I'm an outsider. I'm going to always speak from that point of view. But I saw it in D.C. because we go back now. It ain't Chocolate City no more.
It's not the same.
It's not.
It's not Chocolate City no
not,
more.
man.
Everybody know that.
Yo, so our peoples used to hang out on 14th Street. That looked like a whole different avenue now. You got Best Buy, Targets,
U Street different. It's all
U Street.
It's all different as hell. U Street Music Hall, like you had spots you would go to. Even for Leslie, she went to school there, so we go back there. It's spots, it's haunts that they used to stop at. Marvin's. You got restaurants and shit like that. It's not there no more, and it's just like, yes, the city absolutely needed some renovation. The city absolutely needed some revitalization and shit everywhere. It's America old as hell. You got to build some shit up. But we'll travel. You go to places that appreciate their old architecture. You go to a Italy, you go to a Rome. They don't just knock shit down and keep it moving.
Got him.
Yep.
Like they restore.
Exactly.
They build it back up so you can appreciate the history of some shit. But you get to certain places, and more often than not, it's communities that are black and are brown. We just gonna knock that shit down and put up the default gentrification building with the default font.
Man, on the gram, man. But shout out to Matisse, man. Matisse, the OG from OG, man. My guy from Park Hill.
I'm trying to call my cousin. Hello? Y'all hear him? There it go. Y'all hear him?
Yeah.
What up, cuz?
What's going on? Who I'm talking to?
You talking to me, man. So, Sean, you are on this.podcast. We record on Fridays. I tell you that all the time.
Oh, okay. So I gotta be. What I gotta do though?
This is perfect, man, because we got somebody that's from PG County, man.
Right, though, man. Listen, we ain't got nobody from PG County.
Man, what's good, son?
Hey, man, we know we do, man. He from PG.
I can tell he from the crib. What's good?
Jay, we got somebody directly. Tell him you better tell him who I am, Jay.
Yeah, he listening to you, man.
Directly from your bloodline, dude. Yeah. So what we doing?
You sound like it, right?
I can hear it in the.
I don't think he can hear you.
So what we doing?
Man, he's telling us about the crib, man, and just
Who's telling y'all about what crib? Where's Mike at? Is Mike right there?
What's up, guys?
What's the word? What's good?
Hey,
that's the thing, man. We
Mike,
gotta hit you back. Hold up, man. We gotta hit you back.
I ain't embarrassing nobody, am I though, and everything else like
Nah.
that. So I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I called you, and then I'm over.
DC, that's like you.
11 o'clock.
Because I didn't call that though.
Hey, man, let me get you back, man. Let me get you back, man.
Oh, okay. So are you gonna hit me back because I'm embarrassing you?
Nah, because you can't.
Too much,
You just can't hear everybody, man. What's up?
Huh?
We can't.
All right, so look, though, let me go ahead and get the extension cord because I'm in the garage, though, man. At the crib, though, Jay, though. It's nice as shit out here.
Extension cord.
Hurry done left, though, man.
You still
we
got
done set up
you call his
here
landline?
and did.
Wait, can you hear us, man?
I ain't do. Hey, look, yeah. Hey, Jay, let me go get here and charge my phone up. Call me back in about a minute now.
All right, man. I got you.
And Sean on the
Hey,
cordless.
Mike, make sure he call me back, Mike.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Sean on the
All right,
cordless.
man. We're going to hit you up.
Yeah, AJ, I've been embarrassed you though. I don't, for real.
You
if
good,
I am,
man?
though,
Nah,
I
you
don't,
good.
then
You-
don't call me back.
You lunching a little bit,
That
man.
boy on it.
You lunching
Right,
a
though,
little bit.
but I'm saying though, that's what I'm
Just a
saying.
little fried.
Why you,
Yeah,
Oh.
right? It's what you mean? I'm lunching. What you know about that word anyway? Though,
Well, I got my man Chaz, man, and he from DC, man. So you know,
he ain't from who? What part he from? Though?
he from
from PG.
PG.
I'm from PG.
He from PG, man.
Yeah, what part of PG he from?
Grew up on the Forestville side.
Forestville.
Forestville. Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to side out him, Jay, though.
Nah, he's all good,
I don't
man.
know,
He
that's
authentic,
it.
man. He's authentic, man.
Motherfuckers know That's them Forest Creek motherfuckers. Everything else. Like,
Hey man, you
know
used
what
to
I'm
live in
saying?
Forestville though.
Right.
You used to live.
I'm talking about, though.
Yeah,
He know what I'm talking
I know.
about.
I ain't no Creek nigga. I guarantee you, I ain't no Creek nigga.
Oh, you ain't no Creek
I'm not
gang,
no
because
Creek
Jake,
nigga.
I was getting ready to say, hey, Mike, hey, Mike, call me or your phone. That's what Jay talking about right now.
All right, man, we gotta hit you back. All right. I'm glad you
For
called,
real,
man. That was perfect.
Interrupted no shit. So when I can call though, Jake?
I'm gonna call you back, man. I'm gonna call you back.
All right.
All right. Let it.
That boy on it.
All right, but so to your point, man. Now that we got my nigga Shad on.
Yeah.
We talked about restoring these buildings. So my man Matisse, OG from the hood, he's out in Europe right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about, he was at the Coliseum. And he talked about how he posted the Coliseum. He was showing footage of the Coliseum. He was saying, he was like, yo, this rich motherfucker out here just paid, what, $2 million just to get the Coliseum power washed.
Just to maintain
the building, as opposed to just knocking the shit down and just putting some fucking super mall over
some new shit up.
And this is a citizen. This is the government. This is like somebody from the neighborhood that says, yo, that's worth maintaining. This is a part of our history. People was here before the people that live here now. We need to maintain this building. We need to make sure that it's still here. This is part of our history. So I'm gonna drop the bread to make sure that this joint is taken care of.
But that's also consider like
Talking to Mike,
my
brother.
bad. That's also consider as because the Coliseum is Rome.
Yep.
Consider as Romans, they appreciate. That's all of us Romans appreciate this thing.
Yep.
That's awesome.
The shit that we be getting knocked down is our shit.
Yep.
Everybody don't appreciate our shit.
And that's what I'm saying. But do people not appreciate our shit because we don't appreciate our shit?
I think it's a two-way. If you disrespect your own shit, why would I respect it?
Exactly.
But also, if I know I could do it, because we've been doing it. If I know we could drop bombs on your shit, and ain't nobody gonna think none the wiser, and we not just talking Tulsa, we talking about Philly with Move. If we know that the authorities, the government could come through and hold you, why wouldn't we hold you? Why wouldn't I take some pay from a developer and let them come and change the zoning and do what they want?
Yep.
Yeah.
And not consider the displacement. So, but to your point, that was a regular ass citizen that did that. So that means as a citizen, we got power.
We got power.
It's shit that we could do, because all it take what was the catchy shit a couple years ago was buy back the block.
Yep.
It ain't nothing stopping any of us from start a business. We're going to become a conglomerate, and we're going to buy up shit so that they can't. But that takes communication, and that takes organization. And so that's when it gets to the community organizing. Like, it's not just about coming together to protest police brutality. It's not just about coming together to make sure that we get a street renamed. It's about coming together to make sure that we hold on to some shit.
And build.
But that's not as pretty as marching. That's not as pretty as showing up. It don't look as good.
That's
More work. It's more work.
That takes sitting down and, hey, we not going to go out. It's 9 o'clock on Friday. We going to sit down and everybody break out. We going to start a Google Doc and we going to type in some shit. All right, give me that takes sitting down and doing some shit that ain't fun.
Yep.
And it don't look good. It don't capture well on the gram.
Yep.
So it takes doing that type of shit.
Damn, is that where we're at? Is that where we're at as a people? Is we just
I'll
we
let
just
you
want
close
the
it out,
aesthetic?
Co.
Is that what we want, the aesthetic? Fuck the work. We just want to. We just want the aesthetic.
I think you could get, to your point, Chaz, I think we could get both, right? Like, because people do want recognition for the work that they put in.
And
you know?
want to have fun. At the end of the day, ain't nobody trying to be. I try to go back to balance. I got to balance out my revolutionary shit with some fun.
Some hot springs.
I got to, I want to turn up. I know she don't want to just hear me. These motherfuckers, I got to make sure that we go out and eat and have a good time.
Yeah.
I can't just be on her head. We got to change the system. And like, nah, you got to balance your shit out.
That's what's up.
But it's the balance part. When you start becoming wild performative, something going to slip. When you start just throwing up, but behind closed doors, you kissing ass and cutting deals. It sound good. And it look good for a photo op.
Right.
But are you really built like that?
Because that's work.
That's
part
the
is
thing.
work.
That's the work part. Like, it's because it don't take. We could capture a photo right now and throw it up on Instagram right now, and then get into some fuck shit. But it look like, oh, they was in there recording the podcast. Like, it's very easy. It's that consistency with the shit. Not only on the people doing the work, but the Bamas are supporting the people doing the work. You got to keep them consistent.
Yeah.
You got to stay on your shit. Your campaign can't be, we doing it for the hood and I fuck with you. Then when you get on, you fuck with whoever got the bigger pockets. Because more often than not, as an individual,
Looking for the bag.
as
right.
an individual, I'm broke. Collectively, though, we got bread. But the corporations, they see that as a purse. They got the money. They got the money to pay we're going to cut a deal, do what we want on Welton Street. We're going to cut a deal, do what we want over on Park Hill. Hey, build that shit out Montbello. Send them niggas out there.
Right.
Because now we could do whatever we want. Because collectively, all them Bamas in Montbello got more power if they come together.
Yeah, and that's what happened. That's how they built Green Valley, right?
Yeah, well.
It's all of that, but you gotta stand on that shit, and you gotta get off your phone. You gotta be around the way. I can't call myself a community organizer if I don't be in the community.
Off the phone.
I can't. If I came and did this and all right, baby, let's go home. I did my black outreach for the day, and then I'm back in the crib.
I did my social media activism.
I did my activism for the day. I'm gonna share this podcast, and the niggas never hear from me again.
That part, man. Chaz, thank you for coming through, man. I gotta give you a round of applause.
Man, this was awesome, man. This was awesome.
So real quick, I want you to plug everything you got going with TSG, of course. But if there's anything else that you want to plug real quick, go ahead.
So we have TSG Security for all your private and personal security needs. TSG Training for all of your personal self-defense and home defense needs. The Ebony Yogini for all your yoga needs. There's Leslie Pace.
Hamstrings, right.
Hey,
Chakras.
you
Cause
gotta
mine are
stretch.
in
tight.
order.
You gotta stretch.
Tight.
Even if you strong, you gotta stretch the muscles out. Black Men Build, blackmen.build. That is a nationwide organization tool. We're just trying to unite people and get us together and get us organized. Other than that, man, it's all about, if you see me, it's love.
Got it.
That's the biggest thing. If you see me, I don't got beef with nobody, and I cherish that. I cherish moving around, how I'm moving around. You see me on the podcast, you see me in the street, say what's up. I got love for you. I got love for y'all, and I'm incredibly appreciative.
We got love for
We
you.
got
man.
love for you,
This was
Chaz,
awesome.
man. Yeah, this was awesome, though.
And now my last question: one person that you would invite on this podcast. I got you, Damo.
Yeah, I was about to say channeling, damn.
Yeah.
One person I would invite on this podcast. Damn, I know so many solid motherfuckers.
If you choose one, then
worry
they
about
gonna be
like,
like, "Yo,
man,
man,
you
why
not
you leave me
going-
You
out?"
can shout out.
I'll give you a couple.
Nah,
Yeah,
nah,
I'll
I'm
give
gonna
you a couple.
say first and foremost, there's a wonderful young lady by the name of Jaleesa Williams that also, she does a lot of work in the community, but it ain't community work. She's helping a lot of people out interpersonally.
Okay.
And she's would it be proper to call her a therapist? She's a therapist. She is also a professor, works at a couple of schools out here at Regis. That's one of the joints.
Okay.
Super dope.
Regis in the house,
super
Rangers.
dope individual. Another brother who's probably one of the most creative, just visual dudes I know, by the name of Blake Jackson.
Blake Jackson. Okay.
Very, very solid individual. And I'm going to just do them two because I could just keep going.
Okay.
But between those two people, and it's like people that I've met through my partner, Denver's full of a lot of amazing people. I think
Right
those
on.
two individuals right there, just like they inspire me.
Okay.
Because I do a lot of this type of work, and like Jaleesa from a Zen standpoint, because I get to talk to her when I got shit on my mind. My brother Blake, I get to bounce creative ideas off of him because I don't get to really show that side.
Got it.
So I would say those two individuals, I think, just solid people, man.
All right, we coming for you.
Coming for
We're
you,
coming
man.
for you. And you never stumble upon the unexpected if you only stick to the familiar. So go out there and change it up and be safe.
I love this interview, man.
Is that, did you take that?